So you want B2B SaaS leads before the end of the year? Do you realize we're at the end of November? Hey, I'll show you how to do it. Hello, my name is Bill Arnold, and I'm president of Prevail Marketing. And every day we try to give you some tips and strategies to make your marketing and sales program better through just doing it better. And today we're going to talk about some quick ways you can get B2B SaaS leads. Not just leads, but bottom of the funnel leads. That's what's most important, right? Over the last couple of days, we've given you actually 4 phenomenal ways yesterday in order to get phenomenal bottom of the funnel leads, but they take time to develop, they take time to nurture, they take time to grow. Today we're going to talk about things that happen, I don't want to say instantaneously, but you can still get them done before the end of the year and have a really good year to close out. Okay, let's talk about one, email marketing. Email marketing. And I'm talking about raise the dead campaigns. What are raise the dead campaigns? You have a lot of people in your CRM who you used to talk to you, asked you about your product, maybe did a demo, really seemed interested, and then they just went away. Maybe they bought a product, but maybe they didn't. Many times they just don't do anything. So what you want to do is you want to pull out that list, dust it off, and figure out a way to invigorate that list. Maybe you have an end of year sales. Now, I don't particularly like discounting SaaS products because it's usually a race to the bottom, but I do get once a year at the end of the year, makes sense sometimes, to have a discount for sale just at the end of the year for the month of December. Now's the time, if you're going to do that, to dust off those leads that appear dead, make that offer, but start out with a few different attempts. Don't just do one and done. Remind them of what the value proposition is. Just don't say you have a discounted price. They need to be reminded why you are the best in what you do. That's number 1. Number 2, we're going to talk about is good old-fashioned pay-per-click. Yes, pay-per-click can bring instantaneous results, and it can work. I know everyone's afraid of pay-per-click because a lot of people waste a lot of money because they do it wrong. If you do it properly, pay-per-click, I'll get it right, can be a windfall. And you need to be strategic about it. You should use products like SpyFu to really figure out what your competitors are using as far as their keywords. You need to figure out how you're going to find that blue ocean strategy. Maybe you're going to actually steal some of their market share by using their branded keywords. There's lots of ways of winning in pay-per-click. One of the things I recommend you do is hire someone if you haven't done it yourself because you will waste money. The second thing I recommend you do to prevent PPC fraud is use a software like ClickCease, which basically gets rid of those bots, gets rid of those duplications, get rid of the people who are just simply trying to run up the numbers to make your costs go up. So use something like that, but you can use pay-per-click very, very effectively. Another way and you don't forget about social media advertising. I guarantee you a lot of people are getting a lot of success in B2B SaaS using social media. And I'm just not talking about LinkedIn. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about Facebook. I'm talking about, yes, even TikTok. They do deliver results. You just need to know how to do it, how to present it. One of the things that you ought to be looking at very seriously if you want to close out 2023 successfully is retargeting leads. What am I talking about when I talk about retargeting? I'm talking about the people who come to your website who were very interested, maybe looked at several different pages and kind of went away. They're probably looking at somebody else at this point in time. So what you want to do is you want to use display ads to retarget them. So they navigate through the internet. Guess what pops up? An ad about you. You've seen this. You've seen where you've inquired about something, and the next thing you know, there's just a ton of ads. Well, it reminds you the value proposition, reminds you why they're there, reminds you to come back to them. It does work, but the key is do it in the first 72 hours after they visit your site. That's when it's most effective. Lookalike traffic. Lookalike traffic works in similar fashion as retargeting, except you use a third-party software to identify the potential candidates who are just like your target personas, just like your ideal clients, just like the people you want to do business with, but you don't know. They're not in your list, they're not in your CRM, and they will go out through paid demand and they will present your information to them. They'll present your ads to them. You want to use that because that's a new way a good way to broaden the sphere of who you're talking to. Again, because you're at the end of the year, people are really looking to take advantage of the tax discounts by spending some of that money this year. Also, another thing you can do that you still have time to do, it's one of my favorite ways, and barely enough time, but still have time, one of my favorite ways of paid demand. Because it works, because it's highly effective, and because you can actually have a couple bites of the apple for the same cost. What am I talking about? Co-branded emails. What are co-branded emails, you ask? Well, I'm glad you did. Co-branded emails are where you take advantage of a publication or an association who already has a measure of a trust and respect from their target audience, which happens to be your target audience. So, for example, if you're a lawyer, maybe the American Bar Association. If you're an engineer, an engineering association. They all have publications. They all send out regular communications to their membership, right? We know that. It's not doesn't have to be a national, it can be local ones. There's lots of local associations that have a very, very close relationship with their membership. They will send out an email on your behalf. And the email will come from them. It'll be branded by them, have their logo. So the people will get it and they say, wow, I'm going to open this up because I trust the source. Point one, when I open it up, I see they are sending me information about your software platform, your SaaS product. Well, that kind of transfers a measure of trust. People say, well, if they're willing to send me information about this company, they probably vetted them. It's probably a good situation for me to take a look at them. And so that's what they will do. They'll give it more trust. That's the power of influence. That's influencer marketing, guys. We talked about this on many, many broadcasts and many, many ebooks and on many, many blogs. Influencer marketing works. Now, most times, co-branded emails are top of the funnel. I'm going to send an ebook, I'm going to collect the names, and that's how it's going to be. This time of year, you can legitimately, and get results, do bottom of the funnel offers, where you're saying, look, there's an end of year closing. We're bringing it to your attention because it only happens one time a year. This is your opportunity to get the very best SaaS platform in this particular line of work or this particular area. That's how you use some quick wins. Now, there are some other things I want to talk about. They're not necessarily quick wins, but they do give you really definitive wins. One are regional events. Now, why do regional events work? Let's talk about them, how you set them up. Think first of HubSpot. HubSpot is an excellent example of how they use events to their great benefit. We all know about inbound. We all know about they have inbound where 20,000, 25,000, 30,000, I don't know the number anymore, all flock into Boston in September, October to listen to speakers, to learn, to renew acquaintances. It's basically the place to be if you're an inbound marketer. But they also have and done regional events on a regular basis where they have a HubSpot guest speaker come out, a person that the community knows and respects because they are really that caliber, high caliber. And they partner with local partners, marketing agencies. And so what happens is the marketing agencies, invite their local people out there, that those who have been their customers and those that aren't. HubSpot invites all the people from that area who have inquired about HubSpot. And the attendance tends to be huge, huge. And the agency talks about the power and the wonderful program that HubSpot brings to the table, the SaaS product. And HubSpot talks about how these local marketing agencies can really deliver results by using their product to perfection. Yes, they each praise each other. And guess what happens? Because of that trust that goes back and forth, because people say, wow, if HubSpot's trusting this agency and this agency is local and I know where they're located, it tends to create sales. And you probably don't have time to do that at the end of this year, but think about in the first quarter of next year. You need to be doing that. One other thing you can do at the end of this year that I want to mention is speed to lead. What do I mean by that? I've seen too many opportunities. I can't tell you how many opportunities where because somebody sat on a lead. It doesn't have to be sitting on for long. It could be an hour. It could be 2 hours. It could be a half hour. They sat on a lead, and by the time they called it back, or maybe they sent an email, even worse, they didn't get through. The people didn't respond. They said it's a bad lead. Well, if you would have gotten that lead at 12 p.m. and before 12:01, you responded by phone, not by email, but by phone, the chances are this person is sitting at their computer wanting to hear from somebody, and they probably asked more than one somebody to respond to them. And so the first one or two who call them back are going to have the conversation. You don't know how many times I've called people back within 30 seconds, and they said, wow, I'm impressed. That was quick. And we've had conversations, and those are the ones that tend to close because that quick response makes all the difference in the world as far as creating trust. Wow, this person's responsive, this person's hungry, this person wants my business. I'm going to pay attention to what they're doing. So I've given you about 5 or 6 quick wins. I've given you a couple other things that can be used for the intermediate term. I'm also going to talk about 2 other things you need to be doing. One is nurturing leads. Yes, it takes time to nurture leads, but you really need to take the time and effort to nurture leads properly. You get people come to your website who are really interested in your product at the top of the funnel. They want, and they say, "Wow, I've downloaded an ebook. I've looked at some material on your website." And then what you do is you have to provide them with a reason to want to come back, a reason to engage, and educate them. I guarantee someone's going to educate them about the solutions that they're looking for. And if it's not you, they'll do business with them. So you want to be the person who's educating. So create great educational content and provide that content down the funnel. I always have about 7 or 8 steps in my nurturing campaigns. And every one of those steps has unique, brand new, original content that they haven't seen. And that's the key, guys. You have to make sure every time they open up that email from you, they get something that's new, original, and that's interesting. Maybe sometimes it's going to be a 2 to 4 page guide. Maybe sometimes it's going to be a video. Maybe sometimes even an infographic. It could be a lot of things. It could be a list of experts who are saying, hey, this is why we understand the problem, and here's some solutions. All those things are potential, but every one of them has to come on a regular basis. So when they get that email, they're anticipating opening it up. That's important, okay? Because that's what is key. And the final thing I want to talk about that is really paramount, essential, critical, absolutely needed is eliminate churn. I've seen more SaaS companies who have done a great job bringing on clients. Man, they've got it down pat. They've got the marketing down. They've got the sales down. They've got it down pat. And then they don't bother to care for the customers once again on board. And what happens? Wow, they go away. Now, what's a good nurturing? What's a good retention rate? You should only have between no more than 10 absolutely percent churn. Ideally, for a SaaS company, 5 to 7% churn maximum if you do it properly. You're always going to get some because there's always going to be some people who go out of business. There's going to be some people who merge with another company. New ownership comes in and wants to use what they've used in the past. Always going to have some, but no more than 5 to 7%. Now, the discussion on how to end churn, how to keep client retention, is a discussion unto itself, which is why 2 days from now, I'm going to have a discussion for a couple days anyhow about how to eliminate churn. Tomorrow we're going to talk about the metrics you have to track for B2B SaaS, so stop by for that because you need to know what to track and how to track it and why you need to track it. So until then, I want to thank you for showing up. I really appreciate the comments and feedback I'm getting, guys. I really do, and I do respond to them. I do respond, and people have asked me for topics to talk about. I do take those as well. So if you like what you hear, if it's been valuable to you, please like, please share, please follow, whatever's appropriate in the channel you're seeing this on. If you need more information, a couple suggestions. We have a blog that contains more detail on the subject. But the best way to learn more is ask us. We don't bite. I promise you. We'll be glad to talk to you, to answer your questions, to look at your problems specifically, and give you some ideas that you can go out and do on your own. Or if you want, you can hire us, but we'll give you ideas you can do on your own. So, if that sounds good, go to our website, fill out the form. There's an email you can attach to. There's a phone number you can call. Looking forward to hearing from you. Until then, until tomorrow, have a great night.